Hello. So I'm going to record this video on taxes. It's an improved version of the one before because I was working with one student last week and he wanted another explanation. And I figured out something that made it a lot easier for him to understand. And I think it will help a lot of you understand taxes pretty well. So let's jump in. I'll hide my video. So taxes, there are three types of taxes. The first one called a flat tax. That's what you pay on like sales tax. It's just a percentage that's constant of whatever you're paying for, but it can also be applied to income tax, flat tax. That's not what we have in the United States. In the United States, we have what's called a progressive tax. This means the more income that you make, the higher you pay in taxes, the higher percentage you pay. And then regressive tax is the opposite. Not many countries have a regressive tax, but there are some business taxes that are somewhat regressive. So let's talk about the flat tax. If you make 30,000 and there's a flat tax of 10%, that's just 10% of 30,000. So 3,000 is what you pay. Okay, but that's not what we have in the United States. We have a progressive tax. So here's what happens with the progressive tax. You make 30,000. Let's plot that out. Okay, here's your 30,000. If that's the full amount of money, 0 to 30,000, you're only charged 10% on the first 9,700. So say 9,700 is right here. This portion of income, that's charged 10%. And then everything above that, between looks like 9,700 and 39,475, that's charged a different rate. So since 30,000, should say 30,000 falls in this interval, that's the highest bracket that would be charged. So for this portion of income, we're charged 12%. So that diagram, I think, is what really helps understand how we're breaking this up. So now we have the tools to calculate what we're paying for. So I'll do the 10% bracket in green. Do it that way. I'll do this bracket in green. So this portion of income is charged 10%. So we can treat that like a flat tax on the full $9,700. So that's 10% we pay on that. That's $970 taxes we pay on that portion of income. I'll do the next bracket in light blue. Okay, so now the next portion of income, everything from 9,700 to 30,000 is charged 12%. Okay, so how much income is in this range? To find that, we would take 30,000 minus 9,700. That's what this amount is here. I think that's going to be 21,300 is the income that's in the second range. What that equals, and we're going to multiply that by 12%. So that's 12%. Grab my calculator here. 30, I'll check my work. It should be 3,300. Always good to check. 2,300. So notice this number plus the green number, 9,700, add those up, you get 30,000. So we're dividing our income into brackets. So the blue taxes, we're charged 12% on that 20,300. That's 2436. So that's our second bracket taxes. Okay, so those are the two portions of taxes that we have to pay. And to get the total, we add them up. So 970 plus 2436 is 3406. I think we can check that here below. Did I do that right? Yes, here's it all written out in one section, and that total is 3406. So that's how we do a progressive tax. Use the brackets. So Let's see here. Let's jump down to this example here. I think this is in the quiz. Here's an example of you make a little more, 50,000. So in this case, we have to figure out what bracket we're in. Where does 50,000 fall in? You see it falls in this interval here. So that means we're going to be charged taxes on 3 segments. Let's break that up. Okay, so 9,700 is here. The next, that's the first bracket. The second goes up to 39,475. And then money in the third bracket, we max out up to 50,000. So that's how much money we pay in the third bracket. So the first bracket is always, I'll see if I can be consistent in my colors, is always 9,700. That's charged 10%. That's the first. The second, we actually maxed out the second bracket here. So the second bracket, we're going to have everything in this range. So how do we find out how much income is between 9,700 and 39,475? To do that, we'll take 39,475 minus 9,700. That's how much income falls in this range here. And that gets charged 12%. And then the last bracket, I'll do it in purple here. The third bracket, we didn't quite max out. We just go up to our income, 50,000. How much is between 50,000 and 39,475? We take the difference, that's how much income. And that's where there's a big tax jump. We're paying 22% on that. So you would find out what all these are. You have an answer for each bracket. And then we have to add them up to get the total taxes. Okay, so you got that. Practice with this. This part is the trickiest bit, how to use your tax table to find the brackets. Some practice will be good there. 2 other factors that really influence taxes is the income that you're taxed. This taxable income is not all of your income. The way your taxable income is found is we subtract your total income from a deduction. So I'll write that here. Taxable income, this is what you calculate your taxes based off of, equals total income minus deduction. So what is a deduction? Deduction is amount of money that you receive against your total income to reduce what you're taxed. A deduction is basically money you're not taxed on. I'll write that. Money. So the way it works, like if you're single, if you make 12,200, that's your deduction. Or sorry, if you make 12,200, you have a deduction of that amount, and so you make no tax. You have no taxes. So most people don't make that little amount, but it's to account for people who have a low income. They don't have to pay taxes. So let's look at the 30,000 example. If you make $30,000 of wage income, you get a check, total checks from that, of that amount from your employer. Well, you're actually not taxed on that amount. We got to subtract the deduction. So 30,000 minus 12,200 is what your taxable income is. That's what you pay taxes on. Okay, so here, to calculate that person's taxes, we would say, here's the first bracket, 10% of the 9,700. And then the remaining amount, I'll draw the diagram for that. Taxable income is 17,800. So the first bracket here in green is 9,700 times 10%. The second bracket is going to be this amount here, which is 17,800 minus 9,700, 8,100. That's 12%. So that's the total taxes for this case. And that's because you have to subtract the deduction. Okay, if you're married, that changes things. You can file jointly and have a double deduction. You can subtract 24,400 from your taxable from what you pay taxes on. Okay, so that's a deduction. The last thing, here's how we do taxes. First, you do subtract the deduction, then you find taxes. These are the steps. The last step is based on the taxes you owe, you might have a tax credit, which reduces your income, which reduces your taxes. You pay less taxes. Think of a tax credit just as money. So in one of these examples, I think this was how much taxes we paid. Suppose you have a $2,000 tax credit. That means you actually get money back. You get $57 back. And so there's some rules on whether you can receive the income back for its full amount. That's called a refundable tax credit. Some are non-refundable, meaning you can't receive any extra money back. You just, in this case, would have zero taxes. Or some, you get 40% refunded. So here we would have 40% of our excess, like our money back that we get. So a lot of rules, a lot of situations that change taxes, but these are the basic steps. If you can identify these three, you have a really good understanding of taxes. And when you work through a problem, do it in this order. Subtract the deduction, then find the taxes based off your bracket, and then subtract your tax credit. Okay, we'll work on lots of these problems in class together and answer any more questions you have. Thanks for staying tuned.